everybody, welcome back to FSP Forex Stock Predictions. Hope you're all having a great day. I am the Vortex Trader, and today we are moving on to video number 2 in the double top and double bottom video series. If you have not checked out video number 1, I will be linking it at the top right hand corner of your screen. Check it out now, and then you can always come back and watch this one, which is the second video in this series. Please remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get into the information for today. So today we are going to speak about understanding support and resistance with double tops and bottoms, right? Then we're going to talk about, do double tops and double bottoms have to be straight, right? And do they show a trend? So this is all very simple but very important to understand. Okay. Understanding support and resistance with double tops and double bottoms. Let's get into it. So with this little diagram here, and this is from video number 1, it can explain this concept quite nicely. Right? We see that when price begins to make a trend, so in this example, we are making a bullish trend because we have higher highs and higher lows. Yes? But now what happens when price makes a higher high? Right? It breaks through previous resistance, which is over here, because this was an area that price could not break first. It then cooled off, it consolidated, and then it managed to break through it, right? Same over here. It made a higher high, right? Came back down, and then broke through this higher high. Now, on the third time, we have the double top pattern form. This is clearly resistance. We have sellers at the top above this line right here. This is a resistance zone because price did not break this zone on the first time, came back down and consolidated just like it did on these two, right? Just like it did here. But then as it tried to come up and break this previous resistance, it couldn't do it and it fell back down. So yes, double tops and double bottoms show support and resistance. This is resistance because price could not break past it. We have sellers at the top selling from this price point, and the bulls did not have what it takes to push this price up further. They couldn't do it. So what happens? We get a pattern forming that looks like this, which is the double top pattern. So this is clearly resistance. Now the same works in a bearish trend, right? Exactly the same. Let's draw a quick one quickly, right? Let's say the sellers were selling. Okay, now we have support right here because price bounced off this line right here. All right, the bulls came over, it consolidated a bit, it cooled off, and then we are waiting to see, can price break through or not? Right, so let's see. Maybe the bears are pushing the price down, but it cannot pass this point right here. Right, that means this zone is a support zone. So this is showing support. Because if price reverses from this point right here, that is clearly support. And this is clearly a double bottom. Let's put our little arrows there. You see, there's one bottom over there and the second one right over there. So this zone is what we would call a double bottom zone. I hope that makes sense to you guys. So the question is, do double bottoms, do double tops show support and resistance? Yes, they do. They clearly do. That's why we trade them, right? Because it gives us confluence. It's not just the reason that we think this is support, so we're going to buy the asset or sell the asset at resistance when it has a second tap. It's not just that, right? It also shows that price is struggling to break these zones. It's a strong support. It's a reversal in the trend. This confirms to us, it's extra confluence, it confirms to us that the trend is actually reversing. Because remember, as I said with video number 1, double bottoms and double tops are reversal points in price. They occur when price reverses. Now, this doesn't mean that every time price reverses from a trend, we're going to see these patterns form. No. But when it does form, they are generally reversal points. All right. Let's go back up to the next question. Do double tops and double bottoms have to be straight? All right. Now, generally, we see them very evenly placed out like this, right? We don't usually see a resistance like this. And let's say price is, let's get away from that arrow. Let's take this one. No, not you. Let me move this out the way for a bit. Okay. We don't see something like, let's move you out the way as well. Right, let's bring this arrow down. Something like this. Right? Now, this is pretty much just showing that price on the second tap is struggling to break through that previous point of resistance. Okay? So in terms of the two peaks, we could see a slight trend downwards. Normally, because the first peak is usually higher than the second peak, because that shows exhaustion. It shows exhaustion, right? But I would not say that you would see something like a very, let's even put this lower, something like this, because then I would not trade that. That's a little bit too steep for my liking, if that makes sense, right? That's a little bit too steep. Because this second time that price hits this resistance point didn't exactly reach close enough to the first resistance point, right? So even though it looks like a double top, I wouldn't trade it as such. I wouldn't trade it as such because price could technically then bounce between these zones right here, right? And could then form what could be a descending triangle, which is something else. And now we have the possibility of other patterns forming. You see, check this out. We could have a pennant, right? Something like that. Yes, or we could have a descending flag, which is something like this, where price bounces off of resistance, hits support, comes back down to support, bounces back up to resistance, and then it all gets very, very messy, right? So generally what we like to see is price stay relatively straight and even, just with the second peak not quite touching as high as the first. When we see that, then it's generally a nice, doable, tradable double top pattern. And the same goes with double bottoms, right? We have to be careful that the resistance line above is not so steep, showing trend, all right? Because remember, the double top is a reversal pattern. It's showing when the trend begins to reverse. It's hit a certain area in price. It tried to hit it again. It tried to take over it, go past it, but it could not, and price then reverses on itself. All right. Now, do double tops and double bottoms show a trend? Well, we've just discussed that, right? Double tops and double bottoms are reversal patterns, right? They occur at the end of a trend. So once we see a bullish trend like this, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Not quite a higher high, lower low, right? They occur at the end of a trend. So when we see this pattern form and we see price confirm that it has reversed, we can say that, well, this pattern showed us the end of this trend. All right. So they are reversal patterns. They show us when the trend finishes. We are no longer bulls, we are now bears. Or in this case, we are no longer bears, we now become bulls. We are buying. All right, guys. So very, very simple questions, but very, very important to understand. All right. Double tops and double bottoms definitely show support and resistance. Always. Right? They generally should be relatively straight, right? Nothing is ever going to look absolutely textbook perfect, But when they do, they are fun to trade because they do happen, right? And do double tops and double bottoms show a trend? Absolutely. They show when the trend has ended, they show when a trend is reversing, and they show when it's time for the trend to reverse on itself and become bearish after being bullish, or become bullish after being bearish. All right, guys. So on that note, I will be wrapping up this second video on the DT and DB. By the way, DT is just short for double top. DB is just short for double bottom. So I will be wrapping up this DT and DB video. Please remember to hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. Thank you all again for watching, and I will be seeing you all in video number 3. See you later.